Can the whiskey gods please rain upon us?
And the whiskey gods,
I think I hear
the
it.
whiskey gods have arrived.
I got carded for riding the scooter over there.
You got carded for riding a scooter. Now that's great.
He goes, "You got your ID handy?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Well, I saw you ride in on that thing," and I said, "There's no way he is."
Can you get a DUI for that?
You could probably get a DUI on a scooter.
Oh man.
The whiskey gods have blessed us.
Yes. The pizza gods blessed us earlier. I'm stuffed with pizza. Now I got to fill up with whiskey.
Yes.
What you say now?
Thank you for that delicious pizza.
Say it one more time. So this is my first official drink of my birthday weekend.
Yes.
My birthday was earlier this week. Dox me if you want to know the actual day. Ooh.
Challenge.
Ooh, you know I'm Xavier D. Johnson. I threw it out there for a reason. Y'all better be sending me happy
birthdays.
fucking emails. God, it's not like my email isn't like, super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I am Xavier D. Johnson.
Tom Lawrence.
Maurice Nash.
All right.
And this is how they got hacked. And
Episode what? Let them know what episode.
24?
Yeah, 24.
24. Yeah.
24.
Wow.
Do you see the dedication?
Dedication. Hard work and dedication.
Shout out to you guys for showing up each week for this.
Every week.
Every week.
Every week.
And shout out to you all for joining us every week also.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I feel like we have the best community
We do.
that I have ever been a part of.
Hey, yeah.
It is amazing. You guys show up to DC313.
Mm-hmm.
You guys support over Instagram. You guys support over Twitter.
Discord. We forgot about
We can't even keep up with the Discord. We've basically just knighted Teppy Dangler.
Yeah.
If y'all see Tep on there, he is the king of Discord.
Yeah.
Tep, I'm gonna take a part of this video, and this is gonna be your introduction to the world as the king of our Discord, because you'll be on there interacting, bro. And I love
the Discord kind of took on the life of its
It's
own.
lit. I be on there like I don't
that.
even know none of these people. I love it.
I love it.
I love it. Keep going on there. Please follow us on Discord. But yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Yep. 23-4. Yeah, that's fine. We can always edit the title. Watch this. Real-time editing, because I did not type it right. We were doing stuff, watching breaking news.
Watching
24.
breaking news.
So, breaking news.
Breaking news.
Here, let me show you guys so you can
Is
see.
it Twitter?
There, that's right. Yeah, look at this. CEO Jack Dorsey. Twitter. CEO Jack Dorsey has been hacked.
I wonder if it was, I don't know, the way that I would hack his Twitter.
SIM swap?
Oh,
Well,
you
do you
mean
think it was
the
a
fact
sim-
that the 2FA is over SMS? The thing that the federal government says is, hold on, wait. The thing that the federal government says is insecure.
Yes.
2FA over SMS is not a thing.
Yeah, look at this, though. The hackers tweeted racial slurs and Holocaust
Oh,
denial.
God.
Man, I mean, they were
Not
just...
Holocaust denial.
Why
How
not?
do you deny something that took place on film?
Yeah.
We had pictures, bro.
I mean, when a high-level person, like an @Jack account, has been hacked, I'm going to say maybe they're going to reconsider their position and not using TOTP authentication. There's a reason we like TOTP authentication.
There is a reason
There's
for
a-
the madness.
Yeah. It is a disaster, obviously. I mean, I can imagine Jack Dorsey. He's like, there's some people getting yelled at. There's some security guy that defended his position in a room of why you don't need to bother with this TOTP stuff.
Or there's some security guy in the room like, I've been telling you guys to prioritize this. And some product manager's like, but we had to get live out.
Yeah.
Have you seen the growth pattern on how live has been adopted? Twitter
Yeah.
Live.
So, what a disaster,
Whoops.
though. And I hate this. As more and more, I'm going to make a video tomorrow morning about this, and I'm going to talk about Google Fi. We did a little poke in at Google Fi, and it is, like I said last week, it's pretty difficult. You can't get a hold of my account easily. You have to have a Gmail account to even start the process to get into my Google Fi account. So they don't make it easy, which, I mean, I didn't try every aspect of it, but they're way to hell easier than AT&T because there's no stores you can go to. There's no convincing someone. And SIM swapping is like an epidemic right now with AT&T and some of these other companies where some big YouTubers have been hacked from it.
It's pretty interesting. It's scary.
It's
I don't
scary.
like it.
I don't like it.
It must
too
be
many things
really
rely on it.
easy to SIM swap.
It is really easy.
I mean, how
to
do you
SIM swap.
really just talk them into
Bruh, have you never... Okay, so for one, all the information to answer all of the questions that they use to validate you, if you're a public person,
Yes.
it is public information.
Right.
We know Jack's birthday. We know where he was on January 1st, 2000. We know, his mother's maiden name. We know his childhood best friend. If we don't, we can figure it out. We can guess.
True.
We can ask for another... How is there another method for me to authenticate? We could turn on the crying baby track in the background and be like, "Listen, my wife's out of town. The baby's hungry."
Come on, you can't give away my baby track secret.
I'm just saying. There's ways to do it. Like the SIM swap is not like actually going to go grab the phone and swap it.
This is one of the things. Like James Charles is the latest YouTuber get hacked on Twitter by the same group of person goes by Chuckling, and they James Charles' latest YouTuber hacked. What else? Shane Dawson. Atika, Amanda Cerny, King Bach. I'm not familiar with all these different YouTubers. But
Yeah, they're just YouTubers.
There's YouTubers. But either way, it's been an epidemic of all these YouTubers. That's why it's in the Insider magazine here.
Banked.
They all use these AT&T. And why are they in AT&T? Because they wanted the iPhone first. Because they're, wanted the iPhone back when it was on AT&T. So they never swapped away from them. But then someone swapped the Swim. And I watched a breakdown. One of the YouTubers was really angry because it happened to her twice. And AT&T said it won't happen again. You didn't have this, that, and the other turned on.
I've had friends that it happened to at GoDaddy.
Yeah. And then the second time it happened, she goes, well, I had it all turned on. And they said the person was able to bypass it. And then I'm trying to remember, I have to find it. There was another YouTuber that actually went and attacked himself. He put all the second steps on there to ask the questions. And then he had his friend call. And AT&T just skipped all that. And he started yelling at him, weren't you supposed to ask these questions? And the person on the other end says, oh, yeah, it is say that on your account. Like... They just skipped over and started the process again. He's like, I just got hacked. It's a big mess, and it's because they want to be customer service oriented, and that means helping whoever's on the other end of the phone, even if it's not you, get back into your account. It's a mess.
Shame if that great .com you got that is worth $1,500 to someone gets taken from you.
Yeah.
All because somebody wants to log into your GoDaddy because GoDaddy only keeps 6 questions.
And that's where you go real deeper and don't even answer questions with relevant information, and you create a different profile for each website. And yes, that's a lot of work, but if you use a password management system, you can do that. So you can create different fake credentials for things.
And hopefully somebody out there is thinking about this problem and hear what Tom just said and says, okay, you know what? It's cumbersome to do that. So the same way that I can fill password, I want to fill contact data.
Yep.
What's the difference?
Yeah.
You just keep all that information associated with that URI, and now moving forward, right? And then like if you combine that with something like privacy that doesn't validate your address or zip code, right, or your actual first name or last name, then you can actually have a persona per website with a different card per website where you can go about doing your business without worrying about your data getting leaked.
Yeah, it's a mess. And someone says, bending over backwards for customer service and bending over customers more.
Basically.
That's a good summary of what goes on there. And No Self says, yeah, a lawsuit's coming. AT&T is built on lawyers, so good luck trying to sue them. That's for sure.
Company of lawyers.
Anyways.
I mean, AT&T literally owns so much of the infrastructure. And
I know.
Like, people are leasing like pole space from them. They own the actual pole. They put up the pole.
Well, it's actually, I have a friend, his job, he works for Microsoft, and his job is managing the AT&T licensing account. That's all he does. They're that big that Microsoft has a team of people just to engage with all the licenses because they have that many different things they buy from. It's crazy. AT&T is just a mega company.
I just joined the bug bounty program for AT&T after inspiration from Stoke because he's just making it look so fun. I've never really been interested in bug bounty, but he's making it look really fun. And they just signed up for HackerOne July of 2019.
Wow.
So like it's recent. If not August. So I want to go. I think everything is in scope except for infrastructure.
Okay. So.
And that's really big, right? You got to think, like, who wrote the C language? Right? Like, who wrote Unix? Like, all of that comes out of AT&T Labs.
Yeah, Bell Labs and stuff.
Huge.
Was it Richie's his name. The guy wrote the original C in Unix. Anyways, probably too off topic. This is interesting. I don't know if you've seen this over on Naked Security, though. Serious Security, phishing in the cloud, the freemium way. So it's an interesting thing, and Microsoft Security Intelligence has been doing some posts about this. The 404 not pound page tells you a broken or dead link, except when it doesn't. Phishers are using malicious custom 404 pages to serve phishing sites. A phishing campaign targeting Microsoft used such technique to give phishers virtually unlimited phishing URLs. So what they're doing is getting in there and modifying the 404 pages so you don't notice that there's a new page created. There's just a new redirect on 404s that bring you to the different login pages. And it's damn good, including using, nice Let's Encrypt cert here. So it's got the nice little security lock on there and everything else.
People said this would happen.
Yep.
All of the people who said, "Oh, if you give out free SSL, if you give out free TLS certs, this is what will happen." It happened.
It happened. And now look at how real these pages. And if you look at it, it says Outlook Office 365 user. They blanked out the little part of it on there. But yeah, that's a fake sign in, and it says sign in with your email, and it redirects on the back end. It's a perfect copy. So this was an interesting way to target here. And this is kind of how they showed the breakdown of URLs and how they were doing it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
I seen an attack come through, and I tried, before I could get around to it myself, someone had sent me this thing that says, "Hey, this looks like you in the video," was the title, which of course is something I would click on. But I knew that person hadn't messaged me, and I couldn't tell you when. And so I right away seen it come through on a Facebook message. I'm like, right-click, copy, open in a sandboxed, separate, not logged in session. And by the time I even got to it, because they sent me the message about an hour later, it was already done. But what was interesting is it was hosted on an internal Google page. And it's one of those ones where you can set up the Google Sites. And what the thing about that is that URL didn't get filtered because it was actually part of a Google Sites domain. I thought that was an interesting one, too. I seen a few other people talk about it, but apparently Google was quick enough to shut it down before anything, or at least not to me or people I knew that got that message happen. But
That message is still circulating.
yeah, it says
to
that.
this day.
It's funny because the message is still live, but the link, the URL that it sends is bad. So they hacked all these Facebook accounts and sent the URL. The bots are still sending it. It just doesn't have a payload anymore.
Okay.
The payload's dead.
Spreader's gonna spread. Hey man, you paid me to spread. I'm just gonna spread, bro. I don't know about updating the link. You
That
told me
was
to
my
spread it.
job. Was to
It's not my
spread.
fault
That
your
was
link
it.
died.
I have no idea. I don't know what. You're spreading.
So
It
it's,
happens.
it's like, ooh, I saw you naked on this webcam. Like,
Click.
is this you?
Is this you? You look like the person in this photo. I hope I don't.
No, I doubt I do. Nobody wants to see me naked.
So this was another one. Let me dig into a couple of
Hey,
these real quick.
I'm
here.
challenging somebody out there to make jerk pass a thing.
What's that?
I'm challenging right now. Xavier D. Johnson lays down the gauntlet. You, whoever's watching this, you need to make jerk pass a thing. It needs a GitHub
Jerk
page.
pass.
It
That's from
needs-
last week.
Yes, it needs a GitHub page. It needs a website. It needs a wiki, right? It needs some architecture behind it. The thing that I wanted to do is it needs to manage all of my passwords and all of my identities for all of my jerk sites. I want to be able to have 17 jerk sites, 17 different identities, 17 different passwords, autofill. Can you do it?
I just need a jerk pass T-shirt to wear on the Hacker Variety channel. I'm gonna be hacking stuff and blowing it up.
Hacking stuff and blowing it up?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be all kind of craziness.
Ooh,
Yeah, they just asked me about it in the chat. Somebody asked me when I was gonna start the channel.
When you
told them
starting?
I'm gonna make the trailer this weekend.
Man, listen, put pressure on Mo. I'm not doing it. Put pressure on Mo.
There's so much pressure on me already.
Dude, put Mo pressure on him. You need Mo pressure. His name Mo.
Oh, let's see.
What we
is
got?
I'm trying to pull this one I'm looking for right here. There we go. This. So let's pull Secure Connect. Zero trust, secure access to any device. Connect apps and services in the cloud to your data center. Every time I hear someone say a bunch of buzzwords and jam them all together, I'm always upset. Real solutions to hybrid IT access. It's zero trust. So there's no possible way that CVE 2019-11.510 could be real, where attackers are pulling and dumping all the VPN passwords out of it, right? Except they are.
Except they are.
Except they are.
And I just saw a $20,000 bug get paid out on HackerOne with somebody using this exact thing.
So attackers are actually scanning endpoints running versions of the popular Pulse Secure VPN software. that are vulnerable to critical, remotely exploitable vulnerables disclosed writtenly. This is a publicly available exploit for the bug. Wow. And researchers have seen large-scale scanning. Now, one of the other things about this VPN, this is where I don't understand some of the closed-source VPNs as well. One, we like to see things in open source. Two, many things like OpenVPN, then code audited. It's don't reinvent the wheel. And this is a common problem we've seen with a couple different companies where they take OpenVPN, but they like to make their proprietary solution. They don't want to make it interoperable. And a few of the companies that do this, I believe Sophos does it, and I believe Fortinet does it. They take a common VPN standard and polish it a little, and that polish is what breaks it. And same thing here. Why aren't you just using OpenVPN? It's open. You don't have to pay a license fee for it. But someone got that in her head. We're doing something more secure than the not-so-broken OpenVPN. And then this happens. I don't get that as a business model. Like, I don't need to reinvent certain security algorithms. I can use existing ones you build on top of them, especially when they're well-vetted, well-audited pieces of software out there. I don't get it, but this is a big mess because the honeypots are saying this is highly actively done. This is my understanding from a few comments I've seen people. This is widely used inside the healthcare industry as a way to get to their cloud infrastructure. So it's going to lead to lots of other stories about how people were hacked using it. Big mess, but there's a whole list of CVEs to it and everything else, and it's been covered by a few different places more in depth about how it works and what a mess this thing is.
That's interesting.
And it affects a lot of versions. I mean, this goes back for quite a version. Looks like 5 all the way till version 9. So and who knows how long. This is when they found it. Who knows how long it was actually being exploited for.
Right. And people still aren't patching it.
Oh no, that's a whole other thing. No one's going to patch anything. Why would we patch anything? So that's and that was from our friends at Duo, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. Now this is the story that is really interesting, and I dug a little bit deeper on a video on this. And I'm not trying to dox the person who owns it, but I couldn't help but cover that aspect of the person that actually owns the dental company. So ransomware hits dental data backup service offering ransomware protection. So let's walk through this a little bit. Just like how we talked about everything's bigger in Texas, and it was an IT provider that helped pop 23 places. So before everyone got excited, wow, this is some super advanced targeted hacker group that targeted 23 sites at once. No, it was someone that got popped. Well, this must be another or even more advanced group that targeted 400 dental offices. Nope. Service provider that had 400 dental offices got popped. So pop one service provider, you get 400 dental offices as a prize. They are paying the ransom, but it turns out that they are not getting all the files back, so there's some issues there. I was on their Facebook page, which is also a disaster. It is funny because let's go a little further why I brought up the person's name who owns it. So the name of the company is Perksoft, Perksoft.com. And I looked up who owned Perksoft.com, and it brings up the bigger issue of how the hell do you pick an IT company? This IT company, Perksoft, that specializes in dental, I looked at someone's business model and looked up the owner. He does the same thing I do. He speaks at the ADA on topics such as cybersecurity, how to secure your dental network, how not to get breached. Really great topics. Really relevant right now too. And it's just,
Definitely
I can't help but be a little bit snarky because I already know, hey, look, remote access. All right, let's click that. Hey, look, they're using Screen Connect. How much you want to bet? And I don't know this to be fact, but I'm willing to bet there is no two-factor authentication on their Screen Connect. You can't tell until you get the secondary part and see if it asks. But I'm willing to bet every time one of these IT provider gets popped, 1, they reused passwords. 2, they didn't have 2FA on. And Screen Connect, this is Kyle right from Hunter's Labs. He's talked about this. The attackers know this product really, really well. So they're password spraying all these companies using Screen Connect because they can. And it works out well for them, quite well, because people keep reusing passwords without turning 2FA on, and then they're like, oh, look, there's 400 dental offices in the Screen Connect session. Deploy. And away they go. Now, the irony of it, too, and this is the part where it gets even more confusing, and this is where we're not going to know the internals, is this company is a backup company as well. So they sold them IT services and backup services, and they can't restore. So something tells me they were selling them snake oil. Why can't they restore? You know what I mean? Or maybe this is the other side of it. Maybe they went in through and deleted their backups because they had access to the IT company's infrastructure. Either way, you can see the problem all the way across here.
Sounds like it exposed an even bigger problem.
That's pretty shitty.
Yeah, it's terrible because these companies are not. I mean, undoubtedly, Perksoft is not an inexpensive company. I don't know their pricing, but they're probably reputable. Before now, at least, appeared to be reputable from top to bottom. Anything you read on their website, it looks nice. There's nothing about them that I would say that's shady. How does a company know? How do you choose the right IT company? I thought about that a lot today because I'm like,
How do you?
Someone actually, I got the weird email on yesterday. Someone said, I looked through your website and I feel you're out of my price range because you look high end. And I'm like, so you're looking, and it's a medical company, and it's one that I mentioned to you. That was my reply back for them. You look like out of my price range. And I'm just like, I look too nice? But you care about security, right? I don't know.
I don't know. See, I'm not so much of a service person that I would just be like, thank you for the compliment.
Mm-hmm. I emailed them back and I said, schedule time if you want to talk to me. I gave them some generalized pricings for what our IT services cost. But yeah, I thought that was an odd reply to it. But I mean, these medical companies have to know that, like, you are a target. This is going to be, because there's a lot of fallout. When you talk about 400 offices, each one of these dental offices were unable to complete their job. They had to cancel customers. I mean, this was very disruptive to their business. They're obviously very angry. And where things go out of control is if you go to their Facebook page, and it may be taken down by now, but I screenshotted it while I was doing my video earlier. There's all these people leaving good reviews. Seems like an odd time to leave good reviews. What do you think? Fake reviews? And I love it because someone leaves a good review. There's a comment. What the hell is wrong with you? I own a dental office that's been down for 3 days, and these guys aren't answering their phones. So I was like, yes, there's actually his own customers are commenting on the fake reviews.
That's how you fool them.
They're trying to fool him, and the guy's trying to keep his reputation and save it, which I'm kind of like, if the company goes out of business, if they weren't running a tight IT security, it's a public service announcement if they go out of business. Go find a better IT company. These guys couldn't keep things secure. God, I don't know.
That's pretty
I
rough.
feel terrible for small businesses because they face this really hard choice. I have to, and this was the person that called us the other day, I have to pick an IT person. But they look at our website and they're like, whew, you look like you might be high end. We're really cheap. I'm like, well.
I mean, but aren't you guys doctors?
Yeah, that's what I kind of think too.
Quit being cheap.
We have a plastic surgeon that's trying to nickel and dime us. I'm like, really?
What?
Really? I went to your office. Yeah. It's pretty damn nice.
Yeah, like, I'm just underinterested in people who want to be cheap. Like, I don't like cheap things.
And the full other side, there's companies like, I don't know Perksoft's pricing, but what if Perksoft was expensive? What if they were the high end and charged a lot of money?
They were supposed to spend 33% of income on that.
Yeah,
I mean, I think another problem is people don't really believe in the boogeyman until they end up on our show.
I think that people don't care about security, and that, like, people still shop at StockX. People still shop at Target.
I think that too. It's become so mainstream. Oh yeah, whatever. That's just part of doing business.
I didn't close my Capital One account, right? Even though I know my data got scooped up in this latest breach. I didn't say, hey, you know what? I'm just going to close my Capital One, right? We often, like, I still have a Hyatt account, right? Like, I still have a
Starwood hotels, they're hacked.
Right? Like, it's kind of, like, shitty, but in reality, it makes me feel like people don't value security because us as consumers won't take the step forward to actually make these companies feel.
They also make it really, really difficult for us to do it because Starwood owns every major hotel chain. I would have to stay at like no name, random hotels.
Snicker hotels.
I mean,
in order to get away from
hotels
Starwood.
that like would start rumors about you. Like, I saw Tom at that one place last.
Yeah.
Hotels that start with an M. Motels.
No-tell motel, man.
Motels with an H.
Well, that's why
M-H-O-T-L.
That's why revolutionary change is so slow. Is because people don't want to give up their
complacency is easy. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's go back to the times of sending in the Crusaders. Security Crusaders. Release.
I don't know if you guys seen this, but this is some crazy here. So the Project Zero team, we were talking about them last week, but this time a very deep dive into iOS exploit chains found in the wild.
Yep.
This is bad.
Yeah.
They chain together. So earlier this year, the Threat Analysis Group discovered a small collection of hacked websites. The hacked websites are being used indiscriminate watering hole attacks against their visitors using iPhone 0 days. So they actually stumbled across this, which is even that much more amazing. So they didn't even realize what they had, and they had to start digging into it. It was able to find 5 separate, complete, unique iPhone exploit chains covering almost every version of iOS 10 through the latest version of iOS 12. Wow. This indicated a group of making sustained effort to hack users' iPhones against certain communities over a period of time over 2 years. So,
yeah, I mean, we know this exists though, right?
Yeah.
Like as security professionals, this is like the fucking golden pot that we all like. You know, as a malware researcher, I'm a malware researcher. This is like the golden goose, right? Like to be able to get this payload and take it apart and discover this is like next level.
Oh, yeah.
But we knew this shit was happening. It was leaks about it. The hacking team got hacked. Shadow brokers leak. The NSA is constantly talking about how they'll pay all this money for 0 days, and you got what's the name of it? Zerodium is talking about 0 days. Like we know these fucking things are existing. It's just coming down to like finding them being used, and it seems like we have finally found what looks to be like a very, very well put together and large scale operation.
and this is interesting too. So I thought this was kind of, it's really the iPhone too, but it's kind of an update. So iOS 12.4.1 update to fix a big security mistake, and this is a way to break the phone, jailbreak the phone. Now this jailbreak was patched previously. I think it was in 12.3.
So it regressed.
And then regression, so someone didn't apply the patch into 12.4, so it came back. That's why there's a 12.1. Now this is also, if you're into security researching at all, some low-hanging fruit for you here. Just because the 12.4.1 came out and you know 12.4 patched to 12.3 exploit, try it. Collect your bug bounty. So all they did was run the same tool against 12.4 and go, they regressed it out. So they had to do a 12.4.1. So it was a 12.2 they found it originally. It's in here. But this is just a really interesting side note to say that just because they patched something, try all the previous exploits when there's a new version. Even if you're like, they patched it, or did they? I thought that was kind of an interesting side note to that. The fact that you have another opportunity to do it, you have an opportunity to collect a bug bounty, you have an opportunity to report it, and hey, they'll pay out on that. I mean, the bug's there. They all have to, proof of concept. Yep, you can jailbreak it.
And I want to be clear here. People are probably going to be like, oh, Apple is going down in quality because all these bugs are coming out. Actually, they're going up in quality because all these bugs are going out. We want these bugs to come out, and we want these malwares to be found, these 0 days to be patched, right?
Yes.
We're not saying that Apple doesn't have 0 days. They know they have 0 days, actually. They have a sponsored bug program that is just opened up to the public in August.
Yeah.
So, like, they're acknowledging this, and I think that over the next 12 months, you're going to see Apple in the news for security a whole lot. So, boys and girls, get ready. Because, Zero, the Google Zero, whatever their team is, Google Zero, right? Project Zero over at Google. They're focused on almost everything except for Google. You don't see Google stuff coming out of that.
Well, you do.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Where's the? We already know that the Pixel has 0 days that are being chained together. We haven't reported on that.
They found a couple of ones. They found a couple in Chrome too.
Yeah.
That doesn't. No one. Everybody expects it to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So with that expectation, with regard to Android and Google's platform, right? Because they've already fragmented by making their own Google fork of Android just for Google phones, right? So are they going to be? Is Project Zero going to be putting that same effort into ice cream, or Snicker, or whatever it's called?
Oh yeah.
The other Androids, right? So this is, I don't know. I think that with all of the bugs that have come out of Android before, and all of the bugs coming out of Apple moving forward, I think that we'll see Apple double downing on making sure that all of these bugs are addressed and starting to take security a little bit more seriously, seeing that they've been branding themselves as a security company now.
Virtually unlimited escaping from the Chrome sandbox after discovering a collection of possible sandbox escapes vulnerabilities in Chrome. Trust me, they are poking at everything.
Right.
They are run as an independent organization.
Right.
They have their own. I even heard they have their own legal team to defend themselves against even themselves.
But even Chrome, right? Like we know Chrome is full of bugs,
and they're poking it.
Right. So
I don't know. I got.
It's more. I feel like the public is more like putting Apple on this pedestal of it. Apple doesn't get hacked. Why do
yeah,
you
yeah.
run a MacBook? Because it doesn't get hacked? That's not true.
Right.
that's not
Right?
true.
And so the fact that you felt that way is allowing people like me to still run that same exploit that works on Unix
Yeah.
over on your Windows machine, right? And it works. I mean, on your Apple machine, and it works, right? My Netcat inside of a picture is still going to work when you open up the picture, no matter where. So I think people should really start to think about, okay, Apple is going to double down on security. We should start to expect more bugs to come out of Apple coming soon.
Yeah. In opening the bug bounty program, because the problem is before the bug bounty program, you had places like Zerodium quietly offering, probably brokering it to nation states, quietly offering it. Apple doing it directly. There's a lot of people, because here's the problem: you're a security researcher. You make your living off bug bounties. You got a killer Apple one on there. You've done the work. You're like, crap, they're not paying me for it. I have to sell to a shady place, or I have to go black hat and sell directly. Hopefully I'm not, talking to an undercover agent. When it comes to the ease of it, you go, hey, here's a bug bounty program. It's completely public, completely legit. Just sign up here. Oh, okay, cool. I can get paid for that. It ain't as much as a nation state will pay me for it, but it's pretty good pay, and I don't have to, look over my shoulder the whole time.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. So that's why these public bug bounty programs and signing up with places like HackerOne, we talked about last time because of the Steam hacker incident. Yes, it's a less than perfect system, but it's only going to get better, not worse. There's going to be more companies competing against HackerOne. We talk about HackerOne because they're the biggest on the block, but eventually someone else will come up with their company, and it'll be competitive of which company you deal with for finding and disclosing exploits. It's going to get better. It just... Yeah, and the more people we get interested in this, like hopefully we're encouraging. Maybe out of this show we inspired someone who, left their job doing something they didn't like and decided they wanted to be a bug researcher. Mm-hmm. There's more people like us. We're all encouraging it. DEF CON, how many people were there?
30,000 people.
30,000 people. There was only 27,000 last year. So every year these things get bigger. More people are getting into security. So by the nature of the numbers, you're going to see better. More people finding bugs, better, bigger bugs.
Yep.
So, which is good. That's what we want.
That's what we want.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we want. As I would be freaked out if there were nonstop bugs coming out of Android and nothing coming out of Apple. That just freaks me out. It makes me want to go over to get an Android because I know at least somebody's paying attention to the shit.
Yep.
And they're going and they're making these. Most CVEs come out once people have patched it.
Right.
It's kind of like the thing, right? So like this Apple bug. The one that you just had up, it probably was there for quite the time, right? There's older bugs. There's people that just won't update their phone too. You got that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's so bad. And then there's companies reinforcing that, not updating the phone because their new telemetry or their MDM doesn't work when you update it or something. You get what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you have like corporate devices that are out of patch and that are out of update that you can't update. You get what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, just hopefully that gets sorted out. I got a couple other supply chain attacks. So we're trying to stay away from the ransomware, other than the one there. So I was digging to get stories that were just ransomware.
I got a couple good ones. I need access to the notes.
Oh, okay. I'll fire them off.
I found some funny ones.
Yeah. Well, let me cover this.
Okay.
Ruby on Rails. I don't know if you've seen this. We talked about this 3 episodes ago, I think it was. Backdoor found on Ruby on Rails. This is another one. This is not the same one. I'm not recovering a new the old story. This is from August 20th of 2019. Maintainers of the Ruby Gems project repository have yanked 18 versions of 11 libraries contained a backdoor mechanism or caught inserting code that launched hidden cryptocurrency mining inside other people's Ruby projects. The malicious code was first discovered inside 4 versions of the REST client, extremely popular Ruby library. Now, they even have like some of the download links, how many times it was downloaded, but this is, exactly, we talked about this supply chain attack. And it's been there since, what, July? Yep, July 26th, July 9th, July 17th. May 12th was the worst one. Bitcoin Vanity downloaded 8 times. So they're not like incredible big numbers, but the fact that they ever got out at all before they found it was,
That's a lot of computing power.
it's still a lot of computing power.
How much money do you think they made, Xavier?
Can't even think about it.
Mm-hmm. And this one too. This actually came out of the talk. So someone disclosed, following the public disclosure of a critical zero-day vulnerability in the Webmin last week, the project maintainers today revealed the flaw is not actually a result of a coding mistake made by the programmers. Instead, it was secretly planted by an unknown hacker who successfully managed to inject a backdoor at some point into its build infrastructure. that surprisingly persisted of various Webmin 1.882 through 1.921 and eventually remained hidden for a year. Now, the good news is this was not, with the exception of I think the earliest version, this was not a default config. What they had added was when you could whenever you requested a password reset, you could add the pipe to it, and it would execute things after it. And they made it so subtle, it looked like that would be a coding mistake. It's like, oh, I'm doing a password and piping, but any input sanitization should stop you from putting a pipe and chaining two commands together. So really clever. But part of the improper disclosure was apparently it was all part of a talk and then added to Metasploit. So it's really easy to do now for people doing this. And by the way, people don't update Webmin. God, I remember Webmin had some other issues. Their site was down for a while, so it was even harder to update because it wouldn't tell you there's new updates because their site went down for a while. There was so many problems. And who runs Webmin? People who are not good with Linux. You ever use Webmin?
No fucking. I never even used Webmin. I don't. What is it even used for?
So Webmin
It's like cPanel.
Webmin is picture being able to control everything in your Linux environment through a web interface.
cPanel.
Yeah, but way more. I mean, I'm talking like from setting up hard drives to setting up your hardware, changing network settings, every aspect, all the things. And Webmin, if you don't know,
I've been a Linux systems administrator at General Motors, at General Electric. Fuck, I'm just gonna be honest.
That's why you never seen it.
Go fucking log into the goddamn server.
They don't.
And do your motherfucking job.
I did, and I'll admit, I have done a video on Webmin. It's been around for like 15, 18 years. It's been around for a long time.
Get rid of it.
Well,
take it all back.
Here's the
How
thing.
long has the Bash show been around?
Yeah. And here's the thing. Webmin is for people who go, I am scared of command line. I want to be able to do things.
Why are you touching your Linux system at all if you're
They
afraid
do.
of the CLI?
Which leads me to the person who uses Webmin is probably not the person who updates Webmin.
Definitely not going to update it now. It's going to call a guy. Oh, man.
I gotta admit, I've used Webmin a couple times. I like it for some stuff. I've used it back in the day.
Well, you
I tell you what.
I mean, I have a cPanel. I get it.
If you use one of the things I used to use Webmin for was got early 2000s. I set up mail servers. The Webmin postfix module is really nice. It will do all kinds of extras that you would have had to do a lot of steps for. For example, do you know how to get a password when you want postfix to go grab mail out of another box? You ever seen how you have to push and hash the password in with a certain script? Nope. It's a really long instruction. Webmin automated that whole tool, and you could just drop the passwords in it. Webmin made writing proc mail. Did you ever do proc mail for mail filtering?
Nope.
They used to build proc mail scripts in a really cool UI versus having to. Proc mail uses regex. Regex is a little bit challenging to learn. Makes my eyes hurt a little. They had a whole filter, so you could just hand write the rules, and it would write the regex for you in Webmin.
Okay, I got a question for you. Can Webmin be run VPN only, private network only?
Oh, you absolutely
Why
never
is this
should
on the
public facing.
internet? Like, what the fuck?
That's where the real problem is.
Right.
Like, let's get this off of the internet, please.
Please quit opening Webmin and spend about 10 seconds on Shodan, and you'll find that Webmin is very, very, very much on the internet.
Oh my God, there's gonna be a Webmin botnet from one of 61 people.
Yeah. I used to set up Webmin and bind it to localhost to make them SSH in with PuTTY and use
There you
proxy.
go.
Yeah. That way it was never publicly exposed except for
Little port
SSH.
forward.
Yeah, a little port forward, a little, HTTPS localhost, bind it to your local address. You could do the Webmin stuff on your computer. Back in the day, I used to set up a lot of people with PHP bulletin board, and I knew they didn't want to learn Linux to admin it, and they want to be able to do the basics, so I would do things like give them Webmin, set up a secure access to it so they could manage their PHP bulletin board through Webmin to do the back end. And hell, the database management system in Webmin's pretty slick too. It'll let you manage MySQL really nice. There's some cool things I will admit I liked about it that if you didn't know how to do it or if it's not part of your daily routine. Like Xavier said, since I started in Linux in 1999, so I've been doing it long enough, I know the command line.
Right.
But yeah, I realize you got to have it. But either way, it's still, yeah. I'm defending it a little bit too much, but it's not a terrible product. But don't expose that. Don't expose
It's
any
not even
type
about
of
the product. It's more so like, for one, okay, so I'm just gonna be real here, right? Like, let's get rid of GUIs. Like, let's start with, like, if you're the type of person that uses Webmin for not edge cases, not advanced postfix or regex problems, or because somebody set it up for you. But like, if you're just a person that's like, oh, I want to do this because I don't want to pay a guy to do it for me, and you just go get Webmin and you slap it on the internet and it gets pwned, that's kind of like self-inflicted. Like, don't shoot yourself, right? Like, just you will be better off taking the time to actually just learn how to run the few commands that Webmin would really be doing for you. You'd be better suited.
You better suit it. It's kind of a good stepping stone. That's what I would tell people. It's not.
Also, just don't have it on the internet. Like, if you are one of those admins who are smart enough not to have it on the internet, just keep it off the net.
Do that with like everything. We keep finding things that should never be on the internet all the damn time.
Right? And like
We do.
yeah, it's pretty yeah.
I dropped the link in. Go if you request access, I'll grant it. Anyways,
Okay.
That's what I had for the news.
Showdown for Webmin, 50,000 sites.
Wow,
Done.
50,000.
Done.
And how many of them are probably all really old?
At least I would say one. Just even if you give me 1% of that.
Yeah.
Even if you give me 1% of 50,000, that is so many servers. That is a pretty nice sized botnet. It is.
It is.
It's a nice sized botnet for 1%. That's really sad. Because like now, next thing you know, somebody's trying to register for class, but they can't.
Someone took over their server.
Somebody's knocked off the server. It's so goddamn. Yeah.
All right. What else you got, Mo?
Telnet,
I'm
no
trying to
password.
put it. You want me to just put it in the Keybase?
Yeah, drop in Keybase,
Okay.
and I'll open it up on the screen.
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
the-
man.
The first funny one I found is this. Even our
Oh,
great
yeah, this-
friends
this-
over at NASA
This is amazing.
Oh yeah,
How they got hacked.
from space.
From space.
yeah. This is a whole nother category of
Yeah.
hacking.
Yeah, so
Oh
like we're
my
gonna have our first basically we're gonna have our first court date in space.
Didn't we just release Space Force today or something?
Who
They're gonna
holds
go
you?
and arrest her.
Who holds you accountable in space?
She's still a US citizen on US soil.
Oh, because she was on the ship.
She owned the ship using
Oh, yeah.
US government
You-
computers.
and property. You right?
Come on now. They about to throw the book at her. She gonna do 14
How do
years
you
over
get
this.
pulled from space to jail?
I don't know. Did she get pulled from space yet? I think she's still in space.
You're not easy to get you down from there.
Yeah, like they're gonna do court out there.
Like there's some cop. Well, how are you gonna arrest her? She had to train to get up there.
So
They're probably gonna slap her wrist. They're not gonna do anything crazy.
NASA astronaut Lieutenant Colonel Army is facing accusations that she committed identity theft through improper access of her estranged wife's private financial records. The New York Times reported. Former Air Force
Lieutenant Colonel, right?
Yeah.
We know one of those, right? Shout out to Mac.
Yeah. What a wow. This is crazy.
Whoops.
Hacking from space.
Hacking from space. Now I wonder what the uplink was like, right? Like how you get hacked with 1 megabit per second? A fucking sat link bouncing off the ground back
Yeah.
into space.
I mean, look.
All
the-
UDP is scrambled.
her-
She got to
her
plug in the
ex-wife-
sequencer.
Her ex-wife noticed that a computer owned by NASA had accessed her bank account, used her login information, and she did it from space, aboard the space station.
They got like Screen Connect remote access going on.
Wow, she got a 0-tier VPN punched out of space
That's right.
into
Well,
the 0-tier network.
that would be cool because that goes with the Zero Tier's naming scheme of the orbit, the moon, and everything
you
else.
go.
Dude, you got to talk to NASA and using Zero Tier.
Yeah. Let me see. The next funny one I found,
Dum dum dum.
which would lead us to, it kind of tie into the Snickers we have on the table.
Oh, yeah.
Snap it to a Slim Jim. Eat me. You guys remember those commercials?
Oh yeah, of course.
Miss those commercials.
Notice a payment card security incident. August
Hey,
30.
now.
We value our relationship with our customers and understand the importance of protecting your personal data and payment
And you
card
know that people that
information.
buy Russell Stover are like the people that own gas stations.
Russell Stover.
Like you're not going to buy Russell Stover. You're going to Rite Aid to buy Russell Stover. Russell Stover customer is Rite Aid. So this is like not like, a small credit card. This is like a corporate charge card that does millions of dollars.
Maybe Russell Stover thought they were untouchable since they're a chocolatier. Maybe they're like, who's gonna hack a chocolatier?
I ain't gonna lie, they not on my radar. I wouldn't have hacked them.
Yeah.
I forgot about
I
them
would
until
definitely not
came
have
across
hacked
the
them.
headline.
Now I want to go hack Hallmark. Hold on, wait. It's not me if it does get hacked. Shit. We live in that time.
Xavier's gonna have a Hallmark moment.
Dude, it'll be really bad to
So,
get
yeah.
like Hallmark cards in jail.
Oh, we'd all send you one though.
Lil didn't do nothing.
You know, Russell Stover is pretty popular around like holidays, especially Valentine's Day. They sell a lot of
yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah, but they're not going directly there to buy it.
I don't know. Let's go to this. I want to go look.
It even has a find a shop on the top.
Right here. Oh, save now. I get 20% off.
Yeah, but you gotta pay for shipping.
I don't know, man. This looks pretty good.
It's $40 for a box of fucking chocolate.
If you go to jail, I'll send you a gift box of these.
Right. All right. Next story.
Jeez.
Next story is in the Keybase.
Oh, let me pull it up.
Oh yeah, I talked about this guy earlier on my earlier this week on my show, on my channel called video called "Don't Be a Black Hat."
Oh, yeah.
This guy's a total dickhead.
He made some really poor life choices. I watched your video on
Really
that.
poor life
Mr.
choices.
Courvoisier.
Pastor Cavassier. Everybody singing now, Pastor Cavassier.
The funniest part is West, who ran the enterprise using his girlfriend's laptop, was snared by Met Cybercrime Unit after 2 years of investigation.
Only 2 years.
Do not use your
He gotta
girlfriend's
do.
laptop.
He gotta do 10 years in the bank. 10 years with the boys and 1.1 USD.
No, that's. Oh yeah, I guess. It's
And 1.1 USD. And the 1.1 USD got handed out to him 2 years after he got arrested. This guy went to jail in 2017. He was sentenced in 2017. It's 2019. They just like, yo, yeah, you're gonna have to come up with that 1.1 USD, fam scam.
Well, that's British pounds.
That's yeah.
Of course, what's it trading at? Is it? I think it's roughly the equivalent now, isn't
I
it?
think it's
No,
really
it's-
900,000 something pound.
It is.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which is
Oh,
basically
man.
$1.1 million. It's pretty sad.
Oh man.
That was his
Yeah,
hacker.
he's
Don't-
never going to be able to pay
don't
it back.
be a black
Don't be a
hat.
black hat.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, while you're not being a black hat, go check out my YouTube channel, Xavier D. Johnson, space Don't Be a Black Hat, and then maybe you'll find it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Subscribe to Xavier's channel.
Like
It's-
a video. Subscribe.
And the last story I have is I don't know too much about it, but it affected a whole lot of people, and so I'm sure someone out there is affected.
Hostinger.
Really.
Yes.
14 million user data.
Yes.
What?
It's really
14 million.
bad. It's really bad.
That is a lot. Unauthorized server access. Hostinger offered more details about the incident in a blog post today. Actually, I think we did kind of cover, at least I heard about this. I thought we covered it a little while ago, but now they actually have some more incident that's saying unauthorized party accessed their servers that was able to obtain further access to customer information. Wow.
This was possible because the server had an authorization token that allowed access and privilege escalation to a RESTful API. And they
Yep.
just queried the rest of the information right on out of there.
Looks like the payment services were not accessed. So they did use proper tokenization there, which is good. That, you know, if they didn't have the access, client websites and data are not affected. But it did sound like they collected some usernames. But this is that edge case. What happens when they grab these usernames? They find out that people, despite
Yes.
beating it over their head, even IT companies, are going to reuse these passwords everywhere. So now they're going to get their Netflix accounts, and hopefully not, but sometimes their Screen Connect accounts that, one, reuse the password, and two, didn't have two-factor authentication, and next, 400 more businesses go down because,
I mean,
yeah.
we talking 14 million usernames, emails, hash passwords, first names, and IP addresses.
That's a mess.
14 million people. Out of 14 million, just imagine how many are still
And one thing I want
vulnerable.
to point out here, when you're talking about a hosting company, who buys hosting? Other IT people.
Yeah.
14 million more passwords that are probably by technical people who probably also, because they're right now, people are parsing through. Hey, at itservicescompany.com, you know what I mean? They're searching for business names and going, oh, look, I wonder if this password combination works. Oh, look, it does. Hey, look, it's also the same one for their Screen Connect. And they take itcompanyname.screenconnect.com and go, ooh, look, there we go. Now we're right in. This is how the whole system is chained together and falls apart so quickly, is these type of attacks, especially when they're against other infrastructure places.
House of Cards.
House
I'll
of
put one
Cards.
in there for you,
Sure.
actually. It was something that I posted earlier this week. Imperva got fucked. Got, like, talk
And
about
we just
snake
got
oil.
demonetized.
Talk about snake oil. Spanked.
Ah,
Bang, bang, bang.
Oh.
Oh, I think they let you say fucked and still be monetized.
it could be. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
They might.
I'm pretty sure I've skipped ads on things that have said clitoris and all types of other things.
Yeah.
So
Well, you can talk about clitoris. You can't talk about fuck.
they go hand in hand.
I know.
Well,
Go in the hand. I know.
mouth to clitoris.
Well,
Well, this we've said enough words.
If we
that should
didn't get demonetized,
We're
we just
working.
did.
Be,
And we're doing this demonetization for you. Anyway, Imperva definitely got penetrated.
okay.
they're not impervious. Is that what you're trying to
They're
say?
not impenetrable for sure. They are not impervious. It's sad. Yeah. So I think they got breached in 2017. I'm not looking at the article, but this is just from what I remember. And they're just now kind of letting us know. I'm not sure if they
Whoops.
didn't know or
Wow.
how that played
On
out.
August
But it's
20th,
pretty
2010,
bad.
we learned that a third party of data exposure, a subnet of customers who use our cloud web application firewall
Keys
product.
got taken.
Yeah.
SSL.
Wow.
Fucking TLS certs and private
Wow.
certs and.
That's bad. So to expand a little bit about what actually happened
Go for
here is if they get those security keys. Now, the way the web application firewall works, it's got to sit in the layer where it can see the data, which
It's
means
level 7.
right, it has to sit at the unencrypted layer in order for the web application firewall to
Application
do its
layer.
yes.
Ooh, that's where all the fun shit happens.
That's where all the fun stuff happens. And when someone gets those keys, now any web application firewall you use is going to have the decryption keys. So they have the decryption keys and someone popped them. That means other people got to have layer 7 level fun. So, and since it sounds like a group of them, it's hard to say who was affected. But yeah, since September 15th, 2017. So only, just about 2 years. It sounds like, 1 year, 12 months, or 1 year, 11 months, and just a few more days. It would have been two years of access inside of there. I love the comments. Let's go to the comments section here. Not that you should ever.
Oh my God! For one,
it was the Russians.
Krebs comments are always so entertaining because every once in a while you'll see no self drop in there. F Krebs. I think I used all my Fs for the week. F Krebs. So I always look for the F Krebs, and then I always like the I am not Dan. That's got to be in there.
Yeah. I am not Dan. Not a Dan. That whole incident. Krebs is gonna have to.
He's gonna have to fight hard.
Fight hard.
Did you know that Krebs also got thrown out of a Sky Talks and is unable to come back?
Really?
Yes, Krebs got caught secretly recording a Sky Talks talk, and that is like the biggest no-no. They like literally take your stuff and smash it. And they have a sledgehammer.
Oh wow.
And they smash it, and Krebs got his stuff smashed, as far as I know.
Huh.
Yeah,
That's interesting.
he's not welcome back. Well then.
What a mess. What a mess.
What a mess. What a mess.
Well, we have come to the end of the show. Unless you guys have any more links to drop.
Come to the end.
All the show, but the beginning of the birthday bash for this guy.
Yes. Happy birthday to Xavier once again.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Our fearless DC 313 leader.
I am almost 30. 2 more years.
Oh.
2 more years of my 20s. 24 months left of the 20s.
24 months left.
Yeah, I gotta do something fun. I gotta go out with a big bang. Quarter sticks of dynamite, hacking bird scooters. If you follow me on Instagram, then you know I like.
He's been poking at some scooters.
I like to do a lot of shit that potentially will get me sued at least. At least sued.
At least, no. At most, we're hoping at most. At most, we're hoping that's the worst that happens is someone, throws
I mean, I don't
little-
know. Like, you reverse engineer a binary and you can't afford to pay the lawyers. Do they take you to jail?
I don't know.
All right. Like, how does it work? Judge, I'm poor. What do you want from me?
I got nothing.
Got nothing, man.
That's why I'm hacking bird scooters.
I'm not even hacking it for money.
If I was rich, I'd be hacking Teslas.
Right?
We're gonna put you in jail to make cheap garden white furniture.
Jeez.
Oh, yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Tom,
You got a movie recommendation for this week?
do I have Moody Rig? Well, you guys were talking about one earlier. I don't know if I'd put that as a recommendation. What were you guys talking about? That one?
The Dictator.
The Dictator.
Oh, nah, that's not. What's your recommendation?
I don't watch movies.
Ah, man.
I've been watching something called Black Love on OWN with my lady because we're engaged.
Oh, is this the central side of Hacking.
No, it has nothing to do with hacking at all. Actually,
Just watching
It's
a love
just
story?
Flat out love stories. It's like 7 people, like 7 couples that they just like sit down and they like go over like how'd they meet, how much do you love this person? It's free therapy.
All it cost you was a Netflix account?
No, it's, not even- it's included on the cable. It's
Okay.
owned. It's Oprah's network. So it's just like in 720.
Whatever makes her happy. There's
Well, my movie
See, how long have you
recommendation.
been married? Long enough to know.
long enough not to care.
Long enough to know.
Shit, I'm on Wife 2.0, second marriage. I've done this a
You know
couple
what I'm
times.
saying? Wife 2.0. Might be 2.5.
Let me
Yeah.
see. Some people yelling out some movies. Samurai Cop. I've never seen it.
Samurai Cop.
I'm gonna have to check it out. John Wick 3. I
John
did see-
Wick 3.
I like it, but it's like you know it's gonna happen.
Yeah, he's gonna kick a lot of ass.
That's
It's
it.
mindless.
That's
It's
what it
mindless.
is. It's just a mindless. You want to see somebody kill everybody for like 2 hours. There you go. But my movie recommendation for the week is Hardcore Henry. For those who
Oh.
haven't seen it,
He's not wrong. That is great. It's done from that first person perspective.
it's like you playing a first person shooter.
Yeah,
The whole movie.
and it's a crazy, wild. It's not as predictable as John Wick. Well, of course, the John Wick
Where's
first
that
one
at?
wasn't predictable.
It's in the movies?
Hardcore Henry.
Oh, it's been out for a minute.
No, it's been out for a while. You
Yeah.
can probably find it. I'm sure you guys know how
Probably
to.
find it. I don't torrent, bro. What do you mean I could probably find it?
You can find it on Netflix too if you're.
Yeah, it's on Netflix. Thank you. At least we're
Dude.
on YouTube. We can't like tell them to go to seed XYF483X233X
I'm going to give you guys a little tip.
magnet link.
Hardcore Henry in quotation marks, space, open load.
Oh my god! Now you're gonna fuck this up, and all of a sudden people are gonna get a bunch of load,
didn't say anything.
load videos.
I didn't say.
I'm gonna throw this
What
out there
is it?
too. Reddit
Load.
/r/open directories.
Yeah, that too. If you can, yeah, it might be in there, but that might be kind of hard to search.
No, that's
I
hard
got
to
one
search,
for you.
and it's
Reddit/Unix porn.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah, that's nice.
There you go.
That's
That's
nice.
my movie recommendation.
That's not a movie.
They got videos.
Of what? Nice desktops.
Oh my god, the very best desktops. You see how like this whole studio has this vibe, this purple and blue thing? This could be your life. You know? That, Snickers, all that shit. Unix porn. Unix porn.
of course. Look at all these beautiful desktops.
Unix. Look how Unixy it is. Arch looks so amazing.
Lots of arch. Oh, look at that.
Ooh, yeah, that's it right there.
KD
So-
plasma on that clean blurred look
That's
is
the
nice.
stuff.
While we're on operating systems, I might as well ask you because I'm sure there's other people out there that may have run into this problem with using
Oh.
Parrot on a VM.
I gave up on Parrot today officially, live on camera.
You know, I use Parrot and it starts up great, and I, get to doing my penetration
Yeah,
testing, and then I
crash.
shut down Parrot, and then I try to open Parrot back up, and boom, black screen, your grub, something isn't.
Yeah, it happened to me too.
Are you adding any other repositories to it or anything? This has been running Parrot since version 4.6. It's on the 4.7 now.
Probably 'cause
their VMs are different from VM to VM. So I have a virtual machine that I installed from ISO, and it has this problem. And I have a virtual machine that I installed from Live Install, and it doesn't have this problem. And then I had an issue earlier where it just keeps asking me for my password. And I don't want to punch my password in 7 times during the video.
No,
so
no.
I just actually moved away from it altogether
Weird.
because I can't get it to do it's really, really good for somebody who's going into hostile networks.
Yeah.
Like, Kali isn't prepared to go into hostile networks.
Nah, it's not.
It's got services running by default. It's in single
Right.
user mode, right? This Parent is kind of in single user mode, but they don't make you the super user by default.
And they
not
sandbox
You're
everything.
sandboxed,
Right.
right? So it's very, very good for that. But when I just want to when I just want to run a mass scan, it's because they don't have mass scan by default. So it's just like some stuff. It's like it's a good in between. It's a great
Yeah.
operating system with some hacking tools. I want to use it more for my operating system that replace Mac. You get what I mean? That
Right.
Parrot OS could replace Mac for me, but I don't think it could actually replace my operating system for penetration testing. Not yet.
Okay.
It's good to have some pen testing tools on my main system, which I don't have with my Mac right now. So that's my clean middle ground. Also, I think KDE and Mate works different. Their KDE versus their Mate,
Yeah.
works different.
I do. First I didn't, but I really like, and I'm gonna show it on the screen here. I'm running it here, and one of the things I like is they just do such a nice job with the way the VPN and everything works. It works way better in KDE than it does inside of Mate. Mate is very, especially since they switched to 4.7. Mate is a little bit more buggy.
It gets weird, right?
I mean, the VPN works great from the command line, but the UI stuff doesn't. It's kind of
All
like
the UI stuff seems completely different than anything that happens over the. So like I can do a ls in my home directory. Don't see files that I see inside of my Parrot desktop.
okay.
So like if I go to my Parrot desktop and I like open up the home, right? I won't see certain things, like things that I know that are there. I don't know, it's weird.
I know someone said they had a problem on, right now I'm running on kernel 5.2. They keep it pretty up to date. And I'm not running anything. You see, this is just an i5 5300. It's what, 5th generation i5, older model.
But it's running on bare metal.
It's running bare metal. But
I think that makes the difference.
My VM doesn't have a problem either. It runs great. And it's running in an R710.
So that's exactly my VM is running the exact same place. Doesn't have a problem either.
Weird.
My VM that's running in my R710 has it ever had a problem? It never goes offline. It runs 100% of the time. But my VM that runs in my VMware on this machine doesn't work. My VM that runs in my VMware at home works on my main desktop. It is from install to install, bro.
Weird.
And it has something to do with the Mac. Something with Mac.
Maybe something with Mac and maybe something about VMware. It's just got
the
buggy.
VMs are completely different than on.
Strange.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I'm running an XCP&G, but I have not tested any other methodologies. I want to try it in VirtualBox because I got my new 3900X Ryzen system.
Yeah, give it a go.
So I'm going to give it a go in VirtualBox to see how it works. So I'll let you know. I'll do some videos on it.
Yeah, I've been bouncing back and forth. I'm one of those type of people where I don't prefer one over another. It really just does depend on my mood. Today I wanted to get videos done, so I was just like, fuck it. This already has everything I need to do. I need to get Kali installed. I hadn't had Kali installed before that, though, so that goes to show you. Parrot OS definitely made it up to, I'll give it till September of this year. It'll get the credit for this weekend, because I still have it at home fired up, right? So,
yeah. Fun stuff. All right, anything else?
Is that it?
That is it. We did the movie recommendation. We finished one bottle, worked on the next bottle.
Thank you for the birthday wishes. Please go and subscribe to me, Xavier D. Johnson. I need all the subscribers I can get, please.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. I will be starting the channel this weekend. I will be making the trailer.
Is you gonna start the channel this weekend, Mo?
I'll at least set it up and make the trailer. I'll preview it, drop it. You know.
I'm gonna push Mo through the weekend.
Yes.
We gonna brick his car with our OBD, and then he's not gonna be able to go nowhere. We just gonna have him locked in.
Would you say don't be a black hat, right?
Don't be a black hat.
Let's put that in. Does your YouTube channel come up if I just put that in there?
Potentially. No, put space Xavier D. Johnson. Oh, no. What's that right there? That is it. Very first thing on Google.
Look at that, very first thing. So what I'm going to do here, folks, we're going to drop this over here in the stream. You got to go check this channel out.
I think Get Shit Done is probably one of my better ones, too.
Mm-hmm.
Drop that link in.
And just subscribe to this channel. Here, let's drop your channel in here. That's the real goal. I just want to make sure I had the channel set up. Boom. Boom. There you go. Throw some love Xavier's way. Subscribe to him. Please. I've been pushing some people over there and making it all happen.
I'll also be featured on his channel. We have some exciting content coming.
I have a video with Tom. We got multiple videos, but the one video I tried to work on today is going to be really enlightening. So Tom has a part of his network that I don't think he's aware of how much damage I'm about to do to. He just said, hey, you can have this part. So he has things in that network.
Did you find them?
He has things in that network. So what we're going to do
is... It's a studio network.
What we're going to do is, in this network right here. Oh, I didn't even know it was right here. So this
physically,
right here,
that's what you're
this is what we're after. We're using zero tier and a beachhead. And so I'm going to explain to people how to, for one, I want to show off the capabilities of zero tier and how powerful it is to be able to go site to site like this. But also showing how damaging it can be to have one compromised endpoint on your network.
Oh, yeah.
And how the lateral movement, the east to west, the west to east happens. what it looks like to wrap all of the commands over and the special commands that you have to wrap it in to use that host in the special way that you have to use it, it's going to get interesting. And I think that people are going to now go, oh, this is why one hacked computer could lead to, like, I don't know, an entire infrastructure falling down.
Yeah.
So, fun story today. This is. Oh, there's two things I should have covered at the beginning, but I'll cover right now. One, I was working in a data center today, not physically, but remotely, and this guy, whole stack, VMware, ESXi, big, obvious stuff that you run in data centers. And I was helping him with firewall problems, and we had to change IP addresses on the backup firewall, and we couldn't get to it. And I showed him how I can use proxy change. He's like, "What's proxy change?" I go, "Watch this." He goes, "Oh, don't you need my VPN and this and this and this?" And I'm like, "No, watch this, dude. Just open up SSH on that firewall." And this is a pfSense firewall. Open up SSH. I can see his entire VMware ESXi. He's like, you can't do that through SSH. You need a VPN. How are you getting to everything in my network and reconfiguring
Watch
it?
my video
Exactly.
and you'll know.
Like, the guy was just like blown away. My other comment though is physically, I was on site at a big company and I got to witness actual proper security, and I was just happy to see that. It does exist, folks. They're not a company we're covering on how
Did they
got
have
hacked.
badge dispensers?
Yeah,
They did.
they did.
They had
You
badges.
have to get pushed through the first door. Then you're in the little double doors. Then you got to fill out an NDA, sign it, put your name in, get your stuff. Then you're handed a badge, check the ID. They go through the whole process because the second set of doors is security guard. The door's open to the security guard, and you're like, "Hey, I got your badge. Put this on, and you don't leave this until your escort arrives." By the way, when you walk in the door and fill out the NDA, and while you're there, you have to pick the person's name and type it in, and it has to match the person's name. It does autofill, which I thought might be a slight thing, but it's an edge case because the person
Enumeration.
yeah, because you'd start typing the person's name, it did autofill his name in there, and it pings them to come down and see you. So obviously they have to be the ones that then the security guard, hey, they confirmed. There was a whole process I went through. The other thing I thought was interesting, I was actually in their call center. So the call center is going to be the people who they just answer the phone. Interesting. Matter of fact, I was talking to a girl there. She used to work at AutoZone or something like that. You're not talking about people who normally you would think of a DevOps train. When I was in an empty cubicle and I asked someone to come over and help me with something, they rolled back, locked their computer to come over to the cubicle next to them to help me plug something in. They did it every time I tested. I was just I wasn't there at all for security testing. I was just being observant. I was so happy to see that, though. I was smiling like this is just kind of cool top to bottom. So good security does exist. You just don't realize it because they're not in the news. Because they're doing it right. Actually, the reason I was there is another security reason. I was there to help another company set up a product demo, and they couldn't get past the firewall security that they had set up. So I was there to try to breach it, try to enumerate stuff, and get on the network. And it was rather difficult, even with instructions. Their guest passwords are only generated in the last 24 hours. So we have 24 hours from the time guest password issued to get on the network, and it turned out I was damn locked down to that network. I kind of sort of tried.
Nuts.
I wanted to make sure we could do what we wanted to do. So I was impressed. It made me smile, to see a company like that. There'll probably never be a company we talk about on the show.
Good.
There's people doing it right. They do exist. We just talk about the ones that aren't.
You see, quick side note, I know we have a lot of hardware hackers that follow us. And we do have some reverse engineering videos coming.
Yeah, Xavier's been poking away at reverse engineering stuff. So
We'll be reversing, I guess, cheap toys from our friends from the East. If you would like to send us a toy that you would like us to reverse engineer,
mail it to my company's address, and I'll make sure I get it to them.
we're going to try it. We're going to reverse it. And if we F it up, we're just going to blow it up. So
I'm
it's going to be great.
I'm okay with the blowing
either
up part.
way. Either way.
So, all right, that's it. You ready to press that button?
Yeah.
Pull the
It's that
trigger.
time of day.
It's that time of day.
Peace.
Later.